This is the Sunday Sportsman on Sports Talk, AM 1300 The Zone, hosted by Central Texas fishing legend Ken Milam.
Is this this is the Chris Fowler song?
There you go. Hey,
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Well, some of us do have friends in low places. They may not be low class friends, but they may be in low places.
Now, I was sitting here talking, me and Chico talking, and Chico says, Ken, we got Beau in here. He's needing a few pointers, so let's call Chris Fowler.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Chris.
Morning,
How are
Chris.
you?
I'm doing all right.
Now, you're out fishing a trip. You're on a tournament. I mean, not a tournament, but you got a client on board.
Yeah, we got a group we're meeting out here at the Bass Drop North Shore ramp. It's a little bit weird. They actually wanted to come out a little later, so I'm sitting here twiddling my thumbs.
Get your own fishing in.
So you're out there already pre-fishing and getting it ready, huh?
I don't want to sore lip any of their fish, so we're just wait.
Folks, Chris is a guide. He guides on different lakes around. Chico says, you're really a great river guide.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my partner Eric Porter and I, we really love those rivers, man.
Now,
Something
you
about that moving water is really addictive.
lower Buchanan, lower Colorado below Longhorn or Weberville area, or do you go over on
they go everywhere down
Anywhere.
there. It's
Okay.
they-
Everywhere, but we really like that low coast stretch. We take it from Longhorn all the way out to Smithville sometimes.
Okay.
And I will tell you, it's quite an experience. Chris and Eric are one of the only two guys around here that I know of, Beau, that are doing river guides on kayaks.
Yeah, I was fixed to say, at kayaks.
And it's really something to go and it's an experience.
So these
That's
guys that are thinking about getting into fishing out of a kayak, this would be a good guy to give a call.
Oh, absolutely.
And go out and fish with him in a kayak. And if you want to go down the coast, of course, it's Captain Phil Spencer. But here in the hill country in the Highland Lakes area, it's Chris Fowler.
it is. You know, I see them moving and shaking on all the different rivers and lakes around here. You know, they operate. I see them operating like 3 or 4 days a week, and they smash fish all the time. And you know, one thing that I always look for in a guide is personality. You know, if he doesn't have a personality that I think will match mine, or at least that I can have fun with, I'm probably going to look for somebody else. And these guys have two of the best personalities that are just so open in willingness to teach and go above and beyond and take care of you. It's not even funny.
Well, you know, it's getting out there and catching fish, too. And it's having fun.
They can do that. They'll teach you a lesson on Guadalupe. What were you calling them? Guadapaloozis?
Yeah, Guadalupe, Guadapalooza Loopy, or whatever. I don't know. But anyway, we were pestering Don a little bit ago, Don Gordon, about the Guadapalooza they're having next weekend, and he said, I don't know if they can fish kayaks in there or not. And Chico says, we're going to show up and we're going to give our money and we're going to go out there and we're going to eat fish just like the rest of everybody else.
Yep.
Chris is not going to show up for that.
I don't
Chris
think
ain't.
Eric's there for that one.
He's a throwback. You know, Chris throws back everything. He doesn't keep fish unless he has to.
But, you know, with this, though, Chris, is Marcos de Jesus, who is a biologist for this area, he says the Guadalupes need to come out of Lake Travis because they're getting, it's a management thing. It's because they are so prolific that they will hurt the largemouth, they will hurt the other fish, plus they cross with the smallmouth, which all of a sudden now the state fish of Texas isn't a purebred Guadalupe.
I totally agree with culling the lakes. I mean, it needs to happen. We all know it needs to happen, especially out on Travis where there are just so many of them. But I mean, I don't know. I'm just a huge advocate of taking care of these guads because they are our state fish, and out on the rivers we let them all go.
Okay. Well, that's.
They taste so good.
You just go ahead. We'll shut up.
I said I wouldn't know what they taste like, but They are beautiful little fish, and they got a lot of fight in a little package.
Now, Chris, if you dip them in hot grease, they're great.
Poor Chris. He didn't want to hear that.
Roll them in a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, roll them in a little cornmeal, and dip them in the hot grease till they float. And let me tell you, now that is some eating.
You'll come back.
Hey, Chris, man, you've taken over the basically what I was running. It was the Santa Claus Classic, and you've turned it into the Toads for Tots. Toys for Tots.
Toads for tots?
Toads for Tots. So it's a big bass tournament supporting Toys for Tots.
Okay.
And so Chris took it over from me. I started it. I hosted it the last few years, and he immediately when I quit tournament directing, he asked me if he could take it over, and I was happy that he did. Tell us about it, Chris.
Yeah, we're going to be on December 3rd out at Joe's Crab Shack on East Riverside Drive. It's going to be a big bass, a regular old 5 big bass stringer. So there is no entry fee for the event. All you have to do is bring a toy for a boy and a girl and get out there and catch some fish.
Does it need to be wrapped?
No, it doesn't need to be wrapped. Originally, I had said please wrap it because that's the best part of getting a gift on Christmas is unwrapping that thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
As we dug a little deeper and talked with our Toys for Tots rep, we realized that they want them unwrapped, just labeled with a boy or a girl sticky note. And, we're really looking forward to it. We've got a whole bunch of great companies on board. They're just people just giving this time of year. And I think we've got about 12 companies on board that have donated, products, being product sponsors. And I can't wait for it. I mean, it's been a great event for the past few years. And, when Beau stepped down, you see that people were like, oh. So me and the Crow Jaegers jumped right up and said, hey, we want this event. We're going to take it over.
Now, what's that date?
December 3rd.
December 3rd, be at Joe's Crab Shack.
Yes, sir.
At what time?
I think we're going to have a 5:30 captain's meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll turn you loose at 6:30, and we're going to have a weigh-in around 3.
And all they got to do is bring a gift for a
boy and a girl.
Boy and a girl.
And labeled.
And labeled what they are.
They've also got to be dressed they've got to have some kind of Christmas attire on, whether that be a Santa Claus hat or a full Santa suit with lights around your kayak. We will have a Spirit of Christmas award and best dressed.
That's a lot of fun.
Now, if it's a really nice-looking female, she can wear a pixie outfit, right?
As long as it's Pixie Christmas. That was the coolest thing about it is that, you end up having like 45, 60, probably a lot more this year, but you end up having 100 folks dressed like Santa Claus or Mrs. Claus or elves. They got their kayaks decked out with lights, trees, reindeer hanging off them. And every year it never fails to, all along the banks there's people taking pictures. On the boardwalk, folks are taking pictures. So if you're just listening in the public too, make sure you get out there that morning when everybody takes off, and if you go into that lake, take your camera, take your phone camera, and take some pictures because there's nothing like it.
And anybody that regularly goes down I-35 and you look over and all these Santa Clauses are out there in the lake, well, don't worry, don't have a wreck. It's a bunch of guys fishing in kayaks.
Hey, you know what? I will tell you, you find out that there's a lot of these people, the runners, and especially these really, really pretty women that run on the boardwalk, they want to talk to Santa Claus.
They do.
They all love Santa Claus.
It is amazing. You will sit and have conversations. So when I go and do this, I don't even go in the main lake. I just stay underneath the boardwalk.
The best thing, though, is seeing kids. Because, I've been out there by the boardwalk. Folks have been taking pictures. And you always see kids walking around this thing, and they're just blown away. So many people come out and take pictures and ask you to get out and take a picture with them. And it's for a great cause. So get out there and check it out.
Hey, Chris, if somebody wanted to go out and go fishing on one of the lakes, say down below Longhorn or on one of the rivers, or maybe over on the Guadalupe, tell them how to get hold of you, because we're fixing to be out of time.
We've got a Facebook page, Capital City Kayak Adventures. We've also got a Instagram page, which is at Capital City Kayak Adventures. Or you can reach out to Eric and I separately, send us a DM or an email. My email is chrisfowlertkj@gmail.com, and Eric's is cspbassfishing@gmail.com. And, give us a call if you get on the water and have an adventure.
There you go. Y'all just get out there and have fun.
You need a business number.
Yeah. We appreciate it, Chris.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Later, brother.
See you, man. Be safe.
There you go. Y'all want to get out there and go fishing? We'll give you all kinds of avenues. We'll make you big Santa Claus and get out there and paddle on the water.
Well, and it's free.
Oh, yeah. It's free, and they can win list stuff, too, maybe, probably. I don't know.
It's great prizes.
We got to get out of here. We'll see y'all on the other side. We got to thank Callahan's General Store. Ho, 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 ho.
So much.
Thank you.
God
Folks,
bless. Bye-bye.
If you want to get hold of Billy Koshin, it's 361-688-8859. Get a hold of Billy, and she'll get you out there fishing. Guarantee you, she'll take care of you. She'll take care of your kids, and she's just real good at
Another
what she
good
does.
reason for us to make a trip.
Yeah, we need to go down and go fishing, shoot some video with Billy.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need to go fishing with Jerry. Well, not we. Jerry probably. Well, Jerry probably go.
We
got
to put everybody on the boat. Turn the camera on.
Yeah, that'd work.
There you go.
We tell them we want the Gulf Eagle, the big boat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It'd be fun.
Jerry's listening right now.
Yeah, let's see. I bet he could make it happen. So.
Well, it's a pretty good possibility that it could happen real easily. So yeah, we may have to do that. That'd be fun. I hadn't been tuna fishing in a while, so yeah.
It'd be a change, you know.
We'd have to do a can show. We'd have to do a recorded show so I could go, because there ain't no service out there where they go. They go 150 miles offshore.
Yeah, it's more than.
So we
a
can
day,
pull it off, though.
We could do a day trip. Though.
Is that how far they're out right now?
Yeah. Well, when they're yellowfin tuna fishing, they're out there at the big floaters, and they're about 150 miles offshore.
Yeah, it's a trip.
You know, I mean, out in San Diego, you know, you always hear about them being at 100 miles, and they're at 90 miles, and they're at 60, then they're at 30, and it's like everybody, as soon as they start getting closer, that's when it gets real busy.
He used to crew on a boat out in San Diego, so they pretty much the same species.
Didn't know if they came in
6,000
closer.
feet of water.
Yeah.
Well, probably the port that you're closest to is Brownsville,
Gotcha.
and you leave out Port A.
Right.
They go fish that trench. It's out off of Brownsville, where the meteorite that killed all of the dinosaurs hit.
Right. Yeah.
That's the
If
trench.
the water's
they're
real
fishing.
blue out there.
Oh
real
yes,
clear.
yeah. You know, it got me. You know, I'm sitting out there. You know, here I'm used to seeing fish finders that say 25, 30 feet. And we're kind of deep here. Really? And I walked up there. You know, I'm saying, well, we're gonna be 40, 50 feet.
Mm-hmm.
6,000 feet.
Yeah.
In San Diego, you go a half mile offshore, you're in 900 feet of water, you know?
He's sitting there. Well, we're not going to fish 2 turns off the bottom, are we?
Right.
No. But,
that's like fishing here in these lakes. You get in all these lakes and they're shallow, and you get out on Travis and you're seeing 140 feet, 100.
or 300.
Yeah, and it's there. You're in those canyons, and
It's intimidating when you're in a kayak.
yeah.
You know you're sitting in 140 feet of water. It's a little intimidating.
And that's where you want to have a good life jacket.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now,
At all times.
do y'all have the life jackets that you reach up and pull the cord,
I do.
Yeah.
and not the one that when it gets wet, it inflates?
Well, mine does both.
Yeah.
You can either do it manually or it does it automatically. But I mean, I've never been a fan of those big, bulky life jackets
Those
that you
things
see a
are
lot
hot.
of kayakers wear.
Yeah, summertime that's hot.
You
I
have
actually
to,
wear the
yeah.
same thing I use when I'm fishing out of a bass boat. It's just real tight fitting. It's form fitting. It's light. I don't even know it's there.
Now, I have gone to a fishing jacket in the cooler months.
Oh, yeah.
Because I like the pockets. I like having everything right attached to me. So it's
It'll trap that body heat a little bit more
Right.
and
too.
it does keep it.
That's the one that like the game wardens wear. It's that
They're-
insulated coat, Yeah, and they're also a life jacket.
I did get one of those new. It's an extra sport and it breathes. It's got the breathable foam.
I want one of those
makes
little
me work.
belt ones that have just been popping up recently.
Mm-hmm.
Belt ones,
I
like
guess they're
not
legal.
a ski belt.
No, I guess it kind of looks like a fanny pack,
Uh-huh.
and it's just you just wear it like a belt, and it's a.
Now, I don't know if it'd
life
keep
preserver.
your head above water
Yeah.
unconscious.
That'd be the
but,
one.
no, I mean, it had to be a Type 3. I'm not sure the type.
Yeah,
and
Type
what
3.
The legality of it. Now, you probably couldn't use it in a guide boat, right? You've got to have a certain amount of Type
You got to
3.
have a
Classified.
Coast Guard, classified. Yeah, you got to have a jacket that is Coast Guard legal.
Check your tournament rules. We've got to make sure that some of those belts, if they're allowed.
But
I think
absolutely
they-
wear one at all times while
yeah.
you're out fishing.
Oh,
It
yeah.
doesn't matter if you're in 2 feet of water or 120 feet of water. If you're not wearing your life jacket, you're doing something wrong right off the
Yeah,
bat.
there's probably more people die or drowned in 3 to 4 inches than there are.
And especially in the kayak world, we pay attention to that. So,
We got to get out of here.
Man.
Y'all hear the music?
yes, sir.
So, hey, folks, this next 2 segments, it's just going to be Chico and Beau. So, yeah, y'all want to jump in? 390-5483, 512-390-5483. Give us a call. See y'all on the other side. Thank you, Callahan.
I got ketchup on my blue jeans that just burned my hand. Lord, it's hard to be a bachelor man. I got girls that can cook, I got girls that can clean, I got girls that can do anything in between. I gotta get ready, make everything right, 'cause all my rowdy friends are coming over tonight. Do you wanna drink?
Welcome back to the Sunday Sportsman here on Sports Talk AM 1300 The Zone. Now back to the Bud Light Studios and your host, Ken Milam.
Hey, man, what's going on? Hi, what's the good word there?
Well, the eagle's been flying slow.
Yeah,
I'm going to
man.
let Charlie Daniels tell you.
And a lot of people saying that America's fixing to
CDB.
fall.
Yeah.
But speaking just for me.
Charlie
and
Daniels.
some
See,
people
now
from
that y'all
Tennessee,
are
we got a thing or two to tell you
privileged people because Carl doesn't give Charles Daniels to anybody.
He doesn't.
Oh,
Well,
no.
I
Charlie
do
Daniels
feel
don't
honored.
go just to anybody.
I got to meet him. I got to meet Charlie Daniels. He's quite a interesting guy.
I would think so. Yeah, I would think so. I've never met Charlie Daniels. I would have liked
But when
to.
I reminded him about his early stuff, his
Mm-hmm.
dope smoking songs and stuff, he says, I'm not into that anymore and all. We don't do that anymore.
Yeah, it's because you're getting old, Charlie. Yeah. No, we won't go there.
Won't go.
No, we won't go there.
You know what? Another place I won't go is I'm not going back to that kitchen and getting coffee anymore.
Why not?
There is noises out there. This place creeps me out, man. What is
Well, this been Penfield back in the day in the early 1900s, probably World War I stuff, and it was
they keep calling my name.
yeah, going Chico, Mike,
What?
Mike, what
The ghosts of lost souls.
Well,
I don't know what it is. This place is
It's
haunted.
people that have gone there for coffee and never came back.
I'm wondering. And by the way, when was that coffee made?
Oh, probably Thursday or Friday. It's cold, wasn't it? I didn't make fresh coffee this morning. I'm sorry. Carl, have you ever seen anything?
Yeah, there's a ghost that wanders around.
There is a ghost
Yeah.
in this building.
Oh, yes, there is. I've seen it out here. We've been out here. I get here early. On Sundays, I get here 4 o'clock. Now, on Saturdays, I get here at 4. Sundays, I'll be here around 5. And, yeah, there's
I'm
stuff.
not coming in here by myself. I don't want the keys. I
Oh,
need
Trent
them.
will not come in here by himself.
I believe it.
Trent, oh, no. He'll text me, Ken, are you there yet? I am now. Okay, I'm coming in. I mean, yeah. I'll be sitting here. Some of the other producers, they have the door open that comes into their little
And you hear him talking?
cage. Oh no, you see stuff cross by behind the
I
door.
hear people talking over there. It's like,
Oh no! You see shadows go behind them in the door.
So this is why you asked me to come here with you this
I need
morning.
a Marine,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
It's like somebody go, I got to go to the bathroom. Who's coming with me?
Here in a minute, Chico's going, Beau,
Yeah,
we're going to the
You
restroom
gotta go
now.
bathroom.
We'll hold hands. I'm man enough for that.
And now I'll tell y'all another little stick. The studio that's on the other behind where the producers are.
Yeah.
Craig Way was in there at one time. He was doing a thing. The door locked on its own. They could not open it with a key.
Oh man.
Finally, that's why it doesn't have a knob. Finally, they tore the doorknob
I've seen that.
off.
Yeah.
I mean, took the doorknob off
Really?
and never put another one back.
Well, that was time. They had to get that thing open. He was working.
Yeah. And well, they had to get him out to do his show. Yeah. And so Craig's sitting there listening to us right now. Probably, Ken, you didn't have to tell that, but no, I think Craig has a few times. But yeah, this place is,
I'm like, are you talking to me? Who is that?
well, I've seen lights
over here.
lights fly around. Glowing orbs. And I'm sitting there.
Well, this building is old. It's been here
Since the early 1900s. We've had John A., before John A. passed away, Kyle Spiller's dad.
right.
John A. would, I asked John A., John A., when was the first time you saw a plane? 1905. I said, wow.
Right over here.
Yeah. And then we were talking. I says, well, they came out. They ran a freight service by mules, mule wagon, by wagon train, wagons out of Dripping Springs. And he said, when we got to Penfield, we knew we were 6 miles from Austin.
Right. It's the south end of town.
And we're at Penfield, and we're probably, 10 miles into
Yeah,
Austin.
deep in the heart of Austin.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, back
Well,
there in the
again,
day.
it's like I remember when I was first coming here in the mid '80s that there was nothing.
Cedar Park. Oh, yeah.
Oh no!
Well,
when I moved to Cedar
Yeah.
Park in '93, we were 30 miles from
Oh,
everybody,
I know.
and now everybody caught up with it. So
Yeah. Everybody likes Austin.
Yeah.
Even the ghost.
So Penfield is great, but what about fishing, man? Where you been fishing at, Chico? This is an outdoor show, man.
Oh,
this
no.
isn't.
I got to
This
tell you,
isn't
one more thing.
Okay.
In 1924, an F5 tornado come through here and tore things up. And then John A. would tell us about finding chairs and desk out in Kyle, where he lived at that time
From here.
from here. Wow. And the reason they knew where they came from because it would have Penfield Road on it.
I'll be darned.
And they'd find them in the fields out there.
Yeah.
But an F5 tornado just demolished
There's
this
a
place.
ghost living here.
Oh,
There's a
yeah. There's
ghost
more
living-
than one.
Yeah.
There's more than one. I'll be sitting in here early in the mornings, and I'll sit here with the door shut because if you got it open, you're hearing hard heels walking in there, and you look at, ain't nobody out there. Okay, shut the door. Hey, Carl, I hope you're not like Trent. When I was telling that story with Trent, he decided, Ken, I'm not coming in here early.
Yeah.
Ghosts like me, so I'm all right.
Oh, ghosts like you?
Yeah,
They come
we're
in there
all
and
right.
give you a massage and such as that?
Oh, I wish they'd give me a massage. I could use one.
But you know what? I think it is time. We probably got to talk about.
I think
fishing.
we ought to talk about
But
fishing.
you know what? I brought Beau in
Yeah.
with me and he's just had this amazing year.
Uh-huh.
And the reason is that I think Beau has caught more big bass and got more big bass awards during tournaments this year than any one single guy out of boats or kayaks. And he just pulled the big bass out of the Tournament of Champions up in Lake Fork here. We had the big kayak get together where nationwide, all these people that had been winning tournaments nationwide got into this invitational. And he got an invitation. And we were hoping you were going to pick something up, and he didn't win, but he sure did get big bass.
Got big bass out of it. They didn't have a big bass pot?
No, not this year. They did, but it was mainly prizes, gift cards, things like that.
Okay, so you got prizes, gift cards, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they didn't make you pay extra into it this
Okay,
year like
okay.
I did.
So you
But-
want cash?
Oh yeah, I always want cash.
You got the cash. Yeah,
The green stuff spends.
Oh, I understand.
It fills up my gas tank, puts a roof over my
Oh,
head.
yeah.
the fish paid off. But
But the main thing is, well, what was your stringer? I know y'all don't do pounds.
Yeah, we go by length.
Yeah.
And Lake Fork is just its own animal. It ended up taking me longer to learn how to fish that lake than it's probably taken me longer than any other lake around here.
Except Buchanan.
No, Buchanan, I caught fish there all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It was catching quality up there. And I found quality. We just didn't fish there during the TTZ championship. So,
Right.
I had quality. We just fished in a different area.
Those trees out there making things, it is so much different than what it has been.
yeah.
Man, that lake is crazy. I
Yep.
mean, that first day that I went up there and I launched from your place, from your ramp at like 5 a.m., it was pitch black. And, it's not only overwhelming in the day, but you get out, you launch at night, and it's almost scary.
Yeah, you're not. The thing is that if it is dark and you're not seeing all these hazards, it'll shock you when the sun gets up.
Oh, yeah, all the trees out there. Yeah.
But Lake Fork, it took me 7 days to figure it out, and I feel like I got pretty tuned in that last day. Especially really honing in on those long sloping points up there that lake has to offer. If you get on the right one, there's monsters all over it.
Oh, yeah.
There's numbers all over it. You just have to figure out how to catch them. And it took me 6 hours of sitting on one stretch of stump field. This one long stump field on this long sloping point. And literally my last cast at 2:05, 55 minutes before weigh-in, 25 minutes before I had to leave to drive back to the weigh-in, make that one last pitch with the 3/16 ounce shaky head on a Bang Lures Bass Assassin worm, and thump.
Did
monster
you
hit it.
go from our place? It would have been slightly up and straight across and find that little rocky point over there. It's we call it Green Slough.
I don't know what the names were when I was fishing Buchanan, but I fished all over that lake.
Y'all hear the music?
Yep.
Yeah. That just goes by too fast.
moving
We're not
today.
over yet. We still got one more segment.
this is good, yeah.
So y'all stick around. On the other side, we're going to finally get talking some more fishing. And we may even get talking about a little kayak fishing and how y'all can get into kayak fishing with Beau and Chico. So we'll see y'all on the other side of this break in just a few minutes with some fishing. And we got to thank Callahan's General Store. See y'all in a bit. Bye.
Digging in the dirt, gotta get it in the ground before the rain come down to get paid to get your girl and your four-wheel drive.
Welcome back to the Sunday Sportsman here on Sports Talk AM 1300 The Zone. Now back to the Bud Light Studios and your host, Ken Milam.
Hey, man, what's going on? Hi, what's the good
He said,
word
I'm
there?
telling you that science has proved that heartaches are
This is
killed
what
by the
Carl's
sea.
playing for
That got me
Beau.
going.
He saw him on TV. Or maybe he's going to see him on TV.
Hopefully
Yeah.
one day.
One of these days.
Maybe. I somehow made my way on the radio, so anything's possible.
Out there paddling around, being on TV. That'd work.
Yeah.
Now, the last segment, we talked a little bit of fishing, a little bit of kayaking. Now, let's talk about, and if y'all want to jump in with us, all you listeners out there, 390-5483, that's 512-390-5483. We've just got the one segment left on the show. If you want to know anything about getting a kayak, going fishing, these are the guys to talk to. And so if y'all want to jump in, get on the phone and give us a call, 512-390-5483. And now, if somebody wanted to get a kayak, they want to go fishing, do they just go to the big box store and pick up a kayak? Or should they go get a particular kayak? And let's say a starter, somebody that's just wanting to get into it, they wanting to get a kayak. Do they go get a high-end kayak? Do they go get just a kayak, or do they go get the big box store has, or what do we do?
It's a great question. And and I work for a major manufacturer. I work for Johnson Outdoors, and we make Old Town and Ocean Kayak and Necky. So I'd love you to buy those, but I'm going to give you some really good advice. I think if somebody's going to buy a kayak, think about the kind of fishing you're going to do and what you're going to do, and try to buy the best thing you can afford at the time. So try to go, if anything, maybe beyond what you're thinking of.
Right.
If you buy an entry-level cheap kayak, you're going to get what you're paying for. And you're going to eventually, if you stay in the sport, you're going to move up into a higher quality kayak.
Well, I think just talking about the sport in general, it determines on what you need to look into, because not all of us are tournament anglers.
It's true.
Not all of us are out here fishing 60 tournaments a year. You got a lot of guys that go out just to go out and be on the water. Like you're for the most part a recreational fisherman.
It's pretty true.
That's really tied in with the tournament scene, and you fish tournaments too. But if you didn't have that tournament side of life, you may not need to spend $1,800 to $3,000 on a kayak
for a competition. That's correct.
I went out yesterday just to go have fun with some of my buddies. There was a Vibe kayak owners tournament, the first ever Vibe kayak owners tournament out on Bass Drop yesterday, and I spent the whole day in a Vibe Sea Ghost 130, and for $950. It's a pretty good kayak.
Serves a good purpose and works fine.
Keeps
you safe.
For those guys that are just recreational anglers, go out when they have time, or go out when the conditions are good, when it's nice and when it's beautiful out and really hard fishing. It's something like that is totally sufficient. But if you're going to take it to the level that we take it to, it's well worth your money to invest that money and make that investment right off the bat.
Yeah.
Because it's going to help you perform.
But also think of your needs. That's really what I'm saying.
Well, now throwing that out, we have a caller that's calling in.
Oh.
Now he's like me. He's going to need a heavy duty kayak.
We
got
have
Hammer on.
Oh yeah.
Hey Hammer, they know who you are already.
Oh, yeah, Beau takes care of my reels when I tear them up.
Thank you, Hammer. I appreciate it. Good to talk to you this morning.
We see him out in the tournaments. He's out there, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I want to plug Max Milam first yesterday. The fishing was a little tough, but he put us on the fish, and one of the girls with us surprised me, caught a 7-pound bass on
I saw that. It was a beautiful largemouth. Man.
So you got questions about kayaks?
Yeah, I'm thinking about, I got access to a lot of private lakes that's got large bass, like really big bass I was telling Ken about yesterday. And
he was telling us.
I'm as big as Ken, if not bigger, so what do you suggest? If somebody's on a budget or kayak-wise?
Well, if you're similar to Ken's size, and I've met you before, I know what size you are, it's you don't want to be on a budget when you're going for a kayak. I think you'd be much better off spending the money and getting a big, sufficient kayak to support you.
High capacity. The way they build them to hold up to 600 pounds these
What's
days.
the one that Max has got?
Max is in a big game. It's a big boy boat.
Right.
It's a 600-pound
600-pound
total
kayak.
capacity.
Right.
A 300-pound guy who's pretty comfortable in it. And you want to look for that because you're gonna be able to propel it and move around. And
are you looking for a pedal drive, a trolling motor powered kayak, or just a paddle drive?
Probably just what I don't really know much about them. Like I said, I got access.
So do you want to work hard or not work hard at all?
Well, not hard at all, of course.
All right, so look into a pedal drive or a trolling motor powered kayak. And I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but Old Town makes a kayak called the Predator XL. It's a trolling motor powered kayak, and I've also just recently got experience in the PDL, their pedal drive. And both kayaks would fit you just perfectly, and either one of them would be a kayak that I think could support you and your fishing for a long time.
Hey, Hammer, I'll tell you.
You guys got to try one. I got to take
one.
We've got two of them. If you both want to come out at the same time, we can bring them both up and put you both in them.
Hammer, I know how you can go out and use one of their big kayaks if you take them to that tank you were telling me about yesterday.
We could work it
Well, I
out.
hate to tell y'all, but there's 10 and 11-pound bass over here where I fish. I kid you not. I've seen pictures.
You need to be telling us that over the phone and not the airwaves.
Because we'll tell
Oh,
everybody.
he ain't telling where it's at. It's Pflugerville. That's
Yeah,
all
I've
he's
seen
going to tell you.
pictures. This tank got stocked 30 years ago, and it gets fished very rarely.
I wonder if that's the same tank I was taken to about, I don't know, maybe like 5 or 6 years
We
ago.
were talking about that.
And I've been looking for it again. I've been looking for it on maps, and I can't find it for the life of me. And
Well, it's because it's got a stealth dome over it.
it must.
Yes.
It must. Government, dude.
Yes.
Is this government?
No,
Is it government controlled?
no, it's kind of a friend deal.
Let's go,
Oh,
man.
Well,
Okay,
let us
okay.
know. You know, if you want to, Hammer, if you want to, get out and experience one of these bigger kayaks, just get up with us. I'm sure you can get up with us, no problem. And we'll let you try them out. I'm
There
sure
you
you'll love
go.
them.
Well, they got
Okay.
They want to try it on your tank.
That's right.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, that's where I'd want to try it out for sure.
We want you to
Well,
try
I'm
it there
the
too.
And
Only if he
and
comes with me.
and Hammer got a whole pile of new baits he's got to go try.
Oh, yeah.
And Maxie fixed him up on baits yesterday. I mean, a whole pile of them.
Yeah,
We've
I'm gonna throw
been.
one of those this morning that Livingston makes them noises, whatever.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm a Livingston Lure Pro staffer now, and man, I've been throwing them, and the top waters are unreal. Hammer, you want to drop that hammer on a big old fish, dude.
Yeah.
Check out the Walking Boss 2 from Livingston Lures.
Is that the one that Maxie gave you? Did he give you one?
Yes, sir. I got
Yeah, boy, that's it.
Yeah, he got a
I got
package.
it on my rod right now.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
We are.
And are you
loving
throwing
Livingston.
16-inch worms or 12-inch worms this morning?
Yeah, he was giving me some tips yesterday. It was blowing my mind.
Well, I tell you what, that frog bite is still on too, and even in places that you don't think they might hit a frog, throw a frog. I was catching fish on a frog yesterday. I was catching fish up on fork on the frog still, and it's November, so that
But
bite's
it's a
on all
warm
the time.
November.
Okay.
Even
Well, I
last
really
year,
appreciate that.
that frog bite's always on.
And
I
now,
promise.
now, if you're underneath the bridge, the Congress Bridge, throw a black frog.
Yeah. Yes.
It
Black
looks like a bat.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Yeah, well, even Livingston Lures, they make frogs. They actually make frogs with that EBS technology in it that sits there and chirps, and
So-
you can engage it.
Makes
and-
dying noises and.
So while you're reeling the Livingston frog in, it's going.
It's got
Something like
it
that.
makes some clicking. There's a clicking setting. There's it's an amazing frog.
Yeah, it's just amazing. The sound out of this lure, the technology is like crazy.
They work. That's why.
That Walking Boss too, man. You need to stick with it though. It's an amazingly versatile bait. You can burn it. You can slowly retrieve it. You can walk it like a madman in place. It's an unbelievable tool.
Okay. Well, I definitely appreciate the
There you
advice.
go. There you go, Hammer.
Anybody
Now-
else want any more tips and my secrets? And I got baits, colors, anything you want. Just give me a call.
And now, Hammer,
Let's go.
you get hold of Beau or Chico and then set up a fishing trip, and they'll bring the kayaks, and you can use their kayak. And if you put them on a 12 or 13-pound bass, you probably might get a kayak.
We'll make you famous. We'll make
Well,
you
I'm going
famous.
to tell you what, fellas, I'm not kidding you. Those bass are here. We might have to try those kayaks out here for sure.
Well, we'll bring our cameras and we'll designate it as like Lake X or something like that, and we'll just drop a big social media bomb of maybe a Hook Sets from Hell Part 4.
But now make them use how do y'all gonna have to take all the landmarks
Yeah,
out?
yeah.
You're gonna have to blow them out.
Right. Ken knows we do that. We're like, I can't get that shot. Why? Look behind you. Oh.
Hell, from what it sounds like, nobody'd recognize where we were fishing anyways.
Could be.
Oh, they just turn the stealth dome on and yeah.
Hammer, man, let's do it. Give us a call. Let's set something up.
Okay, I'll be in touch, my friends. I appreciate all your advice. y'all.
Appreciate it, Hammer.
Tell Trent we said hi.
Yeah.
Oh, I sure will.
Thank you, sir.
Take care. There you go. So anybody else want? Oh, we got another caller in here.
Yeah, bring it.
We got to do it quick. Hey, Dave, how you doing? We got to do it in a quick one.
Guitar Dave.
Yeah, hey, this is Dave. I went fishing with Max before out there on Buchanan.
Uh-huh.
I'm taking my daughter out today on Buchanan
Mhm.
to try to catch some fish. All I got is a canoe.
Mm-hmm.
Where's my best bet?
I'm gonna let y'all jump in on this.
What's that wind
going
looking
on
like?
Buchanan.
What's that wind looking like?
It's calm.
Calm. I would say maybe even launch down there at Big Chief. I really enjoy launching at Big Chief, and I love fishing that. I guess it's the east end of the dam right there. You know, you can get on fish and not even have to really leave that immediate area, but it's still really pretty and still a lot of good boulders and rocks and submerged vegetation and
Safe
timber
enough to
down
get
there.
back. Yeah.
Just watch out if you fish that dam, those rocks out there in between the dams. If you got a hard north wind, be safe. Stay up in the creeks. Stay in the back of the
Okay, now
creeks.
you talk about the dam going down the Inks, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Buchanan.
Okay, on the east side of it.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Thank
Well,
you so much.
yeah.
Appreciate it, Dave. Hey,
You're
guys, we got to get out of here. Beau, Chico, thank y'all for coming in.
Thank you,
Thank you
Ken.
very much. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you, Ken. I appreciate
We got to
everything you
thank
do.
Callahan's General Store, and we got to thank each and every one of y'all for tuning in with us this morning. Thank y'all very much, and we'll be doing it again next weekend. The Great Outdoors, Saturday mornings, 5 to 8, and right here on the Sunday Sportsman, 6 to 8. See y'all later.
See ya.
Y'all be good. Thank you, family.